Halstead Telephone Company and R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is proud to present to you this broadcast on yourliveevent.com.
Thanks for joining us here on yourliveevent.com. We are getting ready for the state wrestling tournament coming up at the Fargo Dome Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Lisbon Broncos looking to win another double championship and continue a great run that they've had these last few years. So coming up here, our program, we're going to talk to coaches as wrestlers from this Lisbon Bronco team. Coach Kevin McCleary, co-head coach, with us here first. Coach, it's been a different year, I think, to say the least, but it's been another great year for Lisbon wrestling.
Yeah, it's been a fun year. I mean, it's different. We're used to coming in with 40 some odd matches per wrestler right now, and we're coming in with 23 to 27. I think is kind of our average across the team. The kids have battled. It's been a unique year. I hope to never have to have a year quite like this again, but all things considered, we're going to come in and give her heck.
And you're an assistant football coach. Your wrestlers, who are pretty much all football players, they had a month off of the season with COVID-19 before they returned back to action. So they had that happen in the middle of a season where you guys go to the Fargo Dome, your runners up against Langdon. So I think in this short period of time, your wrestlers kind of got well-versed with a little bit of adversity and getting your rhythm thrown off.
Yeah, we definitely saw that with state football, loading up on a bus at 5:30 in the morning to play a state championship game. We were back in the city of Lisbon by noon on state championship game, so that was a bit different. But all things considered, you bring it up about having that month off right at the beginning. That honestly probably was some sort of blessing in disguise. We were a little bit beat up coming out off the football season this year. The boys had really stretched the season out, so having that time off to recover was probably saved them from themselves a little bit more than you realize.
As coaches, you and Coach Lesina, there's maybe only so far as coaches you can push your athletes. At some point, it has to come from within. These wrestlers that you have had a lot of varsity experience from a young age with the uniqueness of wrestling. They push themselves in the other sports they compete with. Would you say the leadership of this team has helped put them at this next level and continue the rich tradition of Lisbon wrestling?
Yeah, this is a hardworking class. It's hard to beat some of the boys we've got working up there at the senior class. They've followed some, like you said, very very talented, very hardworking teams, but they've done their best to elevate. We allow the high school seniors to run our conditioning at the end of practice, and it's always fun to see the unique things they come up with. But they've put their younger teammates in a really good position to be successful this year.
If you had to define this group of seniors, if you had to think of, and I know a word or two is probably going to shortchange them, but if you really had to limit it to a word or two to describe the senior class, what would those words be?
Oh, I'd like to say gritty. There's a group of kids that don't like losing. They just do not like losing. I'm not sure whether they like winning more than they hate losing. I'm not sure which is the case for there. Strangely enough, I'd probably put Goofy sitting right as a true second for it, because you're never quite sure what's going to come out of their mouths in conversations with them. They'll crack a joke with you at Matt's side in the middle of a match and throw you off.
You lose to South Border here in a quad, which featured Kindred and EEK, I believe was the other team that came into that, but one that came right down to 106. It came down to your lightest weight class. You got a chance to get some revenge in the region tournament. Probably stung a little bit to have lose a duel like that, but what was a big takeaway, and do you think that's helped you get maybe that extra push again this late in the season?
Yeah, that was a huge motivator for us mid-season. The boys did not take that line down. They got back in the room the next week, and you could see they were wrestling angry almost for the first few days of practice. They didn't like losing that duel. That was a nice springboard for us mid-season. It's sometimes good to have a reminder in there that if you don't have your best night, bad things can happen. So
you had Valley City come here, another team that has had a good stretch. You look at their dual record right now. They have been very good. They have a lot of ranked wrestlers. You feel that was maybe another hallmark dual win for you guys?
Yeah, it's always fun having Valley City down here. They're the best competition we've got in the EDC right now to wrestle, and we're fortunate enough to have them within a vicinity of us to get down here and drive and duel that every year. Yeah, they've got a nice program going on up there. They won a stretch of, I believe, 6 out of 14 on us. that was a heck of a duel.
Looking at the format now for state wrestling this year, it's going to be a whole lot different. We mentioned Valley City, the Class A schools. You're not going to see a whole lot of them. You're not going to see a lot of crossovers. We're going to have a big round. Individuals didn't need to qualify. Coaches were allowed to enter wrestlers. Do you see any obstacles coming with those changes in terms of how the individual tournament's going to go, and the fact that, it's just going to be rapid fire matches for the first 2 days?
Yeah, we've been talking a lot about that in the room with the boys, that things are going to be different. You're not going to have 3 days to space out a tournament. You're going to be wrestling, if you make the semifinals, you're going to be wrestling at 8:30 on Saturday morning. So you better have it strapped on right away. You don't have time. If you have a loss that's tough on you, you don't have time to pout on it. Everything's got to be up and moving forward. So there's been a lot of discussion on that level with the team.
And then you turn around Saturday, dual is just going to be on its own. It's going to be its own tournament. Again, you talk about time. We'll probably be done with the state wrestling tournament at 2:30 on a Saturday afternoon. We'll have our champions individually named by 2:30 on a Friday afternoon. But in terms of the dual tournament, mentally, you think that kind of clears the head for your wrestlers, that we'll be done with individual, let's focus on with this team?
I wish I had a really good answer for that. I believe so. Our boys, like I said, they do not like losing, and I don't think they're going to have that letdown after a state individual run. I don't believe they're going to have a letdown coming into a Saturday. I think they're going to wake up Saturday morning ready to roll.
What are would you say are the big keys that are going to come important coming into the state tournament to get that next dual championship for your program?
The dual championship, having a good day, being healthy, scoring bonus points where we need to score bonus points, and eliminating bonus points where we can. It's the same simple stuff it is. Comes down to winning and losing duels every time around. That and just a good day, having a good day.
What would it mean to get another duel and then get another team championship and put another rung in the history of this program?
It'd be fun. It's a harder thing to do than it is to say. We found that out twice where we've won the individual and not been able to capture the duel. And since Coach Rich Lesina and myself have been at the helm, and it's special every time. So let's try to run it again, I guess.
All right, Coach. Thanks for being with us here on our special wrestling program. Good luck.
Yep, thanks.
Olson Accounting offers services for individuals including financial and retirement planning, taxes, estate planning, and elder care. For business, Olson Accounting can help you with a variety of services including payroll, audit, strategic planning, and taxes. Learn more about these services and more to help you and your business or farm operation by visiting colsoncpa.com or call 701-683-2700. Olson Accounting of Lisbon. Overn Electric has been serving Lisbon and the surrounding area for 23 years. Expert electrical services include residential, commercial, farm, and aerial. Overn can solve all your electrical problems, whether that be new construction, remodel, or even light fixture upgrades. Overn Electric can get the job done. Owner Eric Overn is a proud supporter of the Lisbon and surrounding communities. Contact Eric today with Overn Electric for all your electrical needs, 701-683-5892.
Welcome back to YourLiveEvent.com. We're getting you set up for the state wrestling tournament. The Lisbon Broncos ready to make another run. And joining us is the other co-head coach, Rich Lesina. Coach, thanks for being with us, and congratulations on, so far, another successful season.
Hey, thanks, Joel. Yeah, the boys have been working pretty hard. They've been doing a heck of a job putting in the time here this week and next week, and have some pretty big goals for themselves. So.
Where is the bar of Lisbon wrestling, do you feel right now, the way this program's been, and how much do you think the wrestlers really take that to heart, is that there's a lot of tradition here?
Without a doubt, the tradition. These seniors, they've been a part of six straight region championships. They know what it takes, and they've unfortunately also been a part of some heartbreaking losses at state because of that. So I think that those lessons learned put them to the part where they are now, and that's why they work as hard as they do. We always talk about just trying to get better every day, close the gap between who you are and who you can be, and that's that's their goal. We don't long-term goals are great, but you got to have a short-term one to get there, and they put the time in. They really want it.
So. What would you say have been the hallmarks of this senior class? I know there's a lot to it, but a couple words. I asked your co-head coach the same thing. If you had to pick one or two words to describe this senior class, what would that be?
Grit. I mean, they just grind everything out. They don't back down from anything. Something goes bad, they get caught in a headlock and down by 5 points, well, match just starts. They'll keep grinding it out. I won't guarantee they'll always come back, but I guarantee they'll try their butts off to get back. There's no quit, just a lot of grit. Just grind every inch they can.
I had a chance to talk to you during the football season in the press box of one of the games, and that was, I believe would have been the semifinals, but it was close to when you guys were going to start wrestling practice originally, and I asked you about that transition, and you were more focused on your wrestlers being out there and winning with the football team in that season. How much has that lent itself to a winning tradition for your athletes in wrestling and to the other sports? I mean, how much is just winning build more winning?
I think you're right on that. Vince Lombardi said that winning is a habit, and unfortunately, so is losing. Once you get in that habit of winning, and it becomes expected, and that's the thing about these boys. They've done things and do it so well that people begin to expect it from them all the time. They had one loss in the last 3 years of their career so far in duels, and people ran that up as that was the biggest thing. Well, they took that as a slap in the face, and they went after it. Since then, they've doubled down and been chasing redemption since then. So the way that they understand that that it's not about what you did, it's what you're going to do in that next one. You put it behind you, win or lose, and you try to get the next one, and it just feeds. I mean, these young kids are coming into that same idea that it's expected to do well. You're expected to go out there and represent and do well.
You are wrestling each other every day in the wrestling room. You're making each other better. How much do you see younger guys pushing these older guys and making themselves better, but making their teammate better?
Over the years, that's been one of the blessings we have that perhaps maybe some other teams in the state with lesser numbers might not have. Those guys can get great 6-minute matches every day in the wrestling room. They can get great looks from a guy that's good on top or good on their feet, or they have a plethora of partners to pick from. The young guys, when they first start, if you get a takedown on somebody that was a state place winner last year, that's a big step. And you're like, hey, I took down this guy, or I took down that guy. That means something. And then all of a sudden you carry that confidence over to the guy you're wrestling from another team. So if you can wrestle with the guys in the room, you can have a little more confidence when you wrestle the guys on the mat. So,
of course, live reps against opponents is something that you need for your record. You need to compete. You need to get better. But this year, things were obviously very different. When it came to building your wrestling schedule, there was a lot of changes. Some things stayed the same. But from that aspect, as a coach and working with Mr. Adair, the AD, and other ADs, what was the approach to making this schedule work to make sure wrestlers were getting their matches in, but also not getting overworked, but also seeing good opponents?
I'll be happy if we never have to do anything like that again. I'm not made to be an AD. I don't like calling and trying to schedule things. I didn't have any zero fun, sir, on those things. I'd rather just coach, go back to the normal schedule. We're used to having the Wapton tournament with kids from Minnesota in Class A that doesn't really affect us seed-wise, and we get a few tournaments where we can kind of learn what we need to work on and get better before we kind of hit the grind of the schedule, getting into the Class B and region opponents and everything else. This year we didn't get that option. We're grateful we got any chance to wrestle. We're grateful. I mean, we got 14 or 15 duels in, a couple of tournaments in. I mean, we're happy with that. But it was that part of coaching is something I'll be happy to never have to do again. If we can go back to let Mr. Adair just reflop the schedule from the year before and match up the dates, that'll be great with me. So.
We're going to see a different look to the state wrestling tournament this year. You're not going to get a chance to, obviously you're not going to wrestle Class A schools, but you're not going to get a chance to see them compete. That atmosphere is going to be completely different. Your wrestlers and your coaches all know what to expect being at the state tournament every year. Now a whole lot of not what to expect coming in with the new format. How do you handle that with the conversations with your wrestlers in terms of what do we control and what do we have to adapt to?
We talk about all the time in wrestling. There's some things you can control and there's a whole lot of things you can't control. And if you get caught up in what you can't control, it's not going to end well for you. So we talked about, hey, this is what the schedule says and what they're planning. I'm guessing there will be a curveball or two that gets thrown at us. There's going to be probably some match time limits in that first round. You're going to have, I mean, it's just going to, something's going to come up. And so you got to take everything with a grain of salt, focus back on wrestling that one match and that one guy, and just keep going. If you start worrying about, the time, or you're worried about if you're tired or not, well, worry about that in March, because nobody's going to feel bad for you in February. So.
The community of Lisbon has been very supportive of this wrestling program, the tradition that it has. We had the duel here with Valley City, and the Armory was as full as it can get with the capacity. But if you had to say something to the community of what they've done for your wrestling program, what would that be?
We love to see a red. I mean, we always talk about the Bronco fans that see a red. Usually they're at tournaments, they're the first fans in. Any town we go to this year, we didn't get that privilege. We didn't get to see them at the tournaments quite as much, or not that full sea. We'd get the parents, but we didn't get the whole crowd in. The communities, they're always great. They take the kids, and they, we have a great wrestling club that's willing to help, whether that's food for coolers or to help out get us to a camp in the summer, helping out buying mats or anything like that. They're always there for us. If you go about the community, you see their signs up in every store, talking about Bronco wrestling, wishing the wrestlers good luck. So they're, I think the town bleeds the red and gold, and I think our boys really appreciate it. Like we said, we've missed the sea of red this year, that crowd that kind of gets up when something good happens. So we hope to have them back. But.
Another opportunity to win both a team and a dual championship, which would make it 3 straight years. You would extend your team championship stretch, which goes a little bit longer. But what would that mean to you personally to put together another state tournament run like that?
It's always 1 year at a time. I mean, it's great that it's a connection from those past years to this year for those kids, but these kids, there's some that weren't on that team last year, that this will be their first attempt at it. There's some that it's their last attempt at it, and you've got to try to make sure they understand you're not wrestling for, it's the drive for 5, all the things that go with, but you're not wrestling for that 5th state title, you're wrestling for this state title. It's just this one, it's just this. So we just got to, keep our nose to the grind. We've been lucky. We've had a lot of really good kids come through, and hardworking kids, and they have taught these younger kids how to fill in and do what they need to do, how to do, do their jobs as we fill in. But I guess the big thing is just, like I said, just don't make it too big. It's just a match again. It's to, wrestle this one match, and then we'll worry about the next one. So.
All right, Coach, thanks for being with us here, and good luck.
Thanks, Joe. Have a good one.
We'll be back with more of our special programming. We're talking about the Lisbon Broncos wrestling team here on YourLiveEvent.com.
There are more than 3.5 million people who work as truck drivers, according to the United States Census Bureau. From the transportation of ag commodities to help feed the world, to packages that arrive at our door, and fuel to keep us on the go and warm in our homes, Patriot Fuels is proud to serve these hardworking men and women across North Dakota with clean facilities, great prices, and a friendly staff. Patriot Fuels in Alexander with easy in and out, hot showers, #1 diesel, and fresh food. Milner with hot food options including Cooper's Chicken and Wingman Pizza. Also located in Carrington, Devils Lake, Linton, and Lisbon. Patriot Fuels, wishing everyone safe travels.
Feeling a knot in the wrong places? Head to the Cheyenne Valley Chiro Clinic. Open Monday through Thursday from 8 a.m. to noon and then 1 to 5 p.m. If you feel tense, just head to 15 11th Avenue West in Lisbon, North Dakota. If you'd like to call and set up an appointment before walking in, just call 701-683-5337. That's 701-683-5337. Open Monday through Thursday until 5 in the afternoon. It's the Cheyenne Valley Chiro Clinic.
Caston Wadeson with us here on YourLiveEvent.com. Don't forget, we will have coverage of the state wrestling tournament audio only Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Thanks for being with us. It's been a busy week for you guys getting ready for the state tournament. How prepared do you feel you're at right now?
Well, I think we're pretty prepared, but we're still working hard. All we can do is work harder and harder every day.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are your parents? What grade are you in? And why do you love being a wrestler in Lisbon?
Well, my parents are Jeff and Jody Waitson. I'm a freshman. I just love wrestling because it's just you and another guy out on the mat doing your own thing. Yes, you got your teammates on your side, but it's just kind of just you where like other sports, like basketball, you got 5-on-5, where wrestling, it's just you wrestling one other guy.
A freshman, you've had a good season. You've shown up in the rankings for your weight class. Still on the younger side of things, even though in wrestling you tend to be at the varsity level at a younger age. How have you taken some of that success you've had so far as a freshman?
I don't really pay attention to that much. I just look forward, and like I've told my dad this since day one, you got to beat them all. So that's the way I look at it.
What have been some things coming into the year that you really knew as an individual that you were going to have to get better at, and do you feel that you've risen to that challenge?
I knew I'd have to get better on my cardio, my quickness, and then just mastering all the little things, and then the bigger things will eventually come. But especially my cardio and my quickness was probably the biggest thing.
How much have you leaned on your teammates for cardio? That is probably the least fun thing that you can do as an athlete, and doing it by yourself isn't always easy. How much do you depend on the other guys in the wrestling room to help you get to that level?
Well, our seniors do a really good job, and they push us really hard, and every teammate in general, but especially them seniors really push us hard. They know that we can do better every day, and they push us to that limit every day.
What has been, would you say, your top two memories of this 2021 wrestling season?
Probably winning a couple individual tournaments, and then as for our team to come back and beat South Border in the region duels. Them were probably my top two things.
What are you looking forward to the most at state, and what is your expectation for yourself and for your team going into the Fargo Dome?
Just make it our home, and just make it our home, and we know we can all compete with everyone. Everybody on the team can compete with everybody in their weight class. I think everybody's proven that they can. Just make it our home out there and wrestle the best that we can.
All right. Well, thanks for being with us here. Good luck.
Yep. Thank you.
You deserve to get good service and great rates. At State Farm, we get it, and we are here to help, because with every State Farm policy, you get good neighbors service, and you get surprisingly great rates. So what are you waiting for? Get going and talk to a local State Farm agent about your surprisingly great rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. When you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Tracy Urbach in Lisbon today. Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 43,000 participants here in North Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
The unknown consumes so much of our lives. That's why Concordia College in Moorhead, Minnesota is committed to providing clarity. We recognize that comparing colleges, especially the price, can be confusing. Concordia has always been a place where students of all economic backgrounds find success. And for next fall, we are reducing tuition by more than $15,000 so that any student who can imagine themselves at Concordia can be a Cobber. Now's the time to take a look at Concordia College, Moorhead, Minnesota. ConcordiaNow.com.
This is Wrestling on YourLiveEvent.com. Seamus Kelly from the Broncos is with us here as we preview the state wrestling tournament, just days away from that. And, of course, you can hear that on YourLiveEvent.com. One of the younger guys on the team, but wrestling is a sport like that where you're at varsity 7th, 8th grade, young wrestlers find success. How does it work with you and the younger guys, and what's the relationship with you and the 7th graders and the seniors?
It's pretty good. I guess it's pretty cool. It feels like being a part of the family. They'll help us out and show us the way, and I want to be like that one day when I'm a senior and those 7th and 8th graders coming up. So yeah.
This season so far, what have been the memories that have stood out for you?
Some would be like beating South Border in the region duels, and then probably just making varsity this year. It's been a goal of mine, I guess, forever. So.
You lose to South Border here at home. Obviously, you never like to lose at home and against South Border, who's been a rival. But when that was all said and done, what were your feelings walking away, and how did you turn that into motivation?
I just knew that we needed to bounce back after that, and we just needed to focus up and get it done next week in that region, because that's when it matters in that state. So.
Let's learn a little bit more about you. Who are your parents? How long have you been a Broncos wrestler, and what are the best parts of wrestling?
My parents are Fallon and Gina Kelly. I've been wrestling since kindergarten, I guess. Last year was first year, I guess, in like junior high, I guess. And some.
What are some of the things that you enjoy the most?
I guess just being a part of family. I think it's fun, just working hard every day and just knowing that it's going to pay off one day.
State wrestling tournament, it's always a fun time at the Fargo Dome. It will be different this year, but there will be a state wrestling tournament, which is the big part. But what are you looking forward to the most, and what are the goals for you and for your teammates?
One of my goals for myself is just placing, getting on the podium, and then for the team, I hope we win the individual and dual tournament.
And what would getting a chance to do both of those things, how much would that mean to you?
It'd be huge. It's been one of my goals forever, so yeah, it'd be super cool, especially first time being on varsity, winning that. That'd be cool.
All right, well, thanks here and good luck at state.
Thank you.
Wallach Johnson Insurance has a team of experienced professionals who are highly knowledgeable and ready to answer your questions about finding the best insurance coverage for you. As an independent insurance agency, they have access to many highly rated insurance companies and can shop around to find you an affordable solution for farm, crop, business, home, and auto insurance. Get your free quote started today with Wallach Johnson Insurance at nd-insurer.com. Call or text 888-683-5253 or stop by one of their offices in Lisbon, Rutland, and Gwinner. Wallach Johnson Insurance, insuring the area since 1981.
If you have never been in an abusive environment, you may wonder why a person wouldn't simply just leave the relationship. Oftentimes, these situations are more complicated than it may seem. If someone you care about is in a similar situation, support them and understand they may have reasons to stay. The Abuse Resource Network of Ransom and Sargent County can help you support your loved one and offer services to those in harmful relationships. Counseling, housing, or financial assistance, or even just a confidential ear are some of the many free services the Abuse Resource Network provides. Reach out today by visiting abuseresourcenetwork.org.
Your wedding day will be one of the most important days of your life, and it takes a lot of planning to make it a special event. Brides by Julie cares about those details as much as you do. An experienced professional will help you plan everything needed, from jewelry, shapewear, rehearsal outfits, bridesmaids, even mom, dad, and the groom, plus flower girls, suit and tux purchases or rental, right down to honeymoon lingerie. Brides by Julie is here to help you every step of the way. Learn more by visiting bridesbyjulie.com.
This is yourliveevent.com. Blaze Ranky with us here on our wrestling special. Remember, you can get Lisbon Broncos wrestling coverage on yourliveevent.com. This season for you guys, team success. You've won some big matches of your own. Are you having fun here this season?
Yes, I am.
This year, I'll probably a little uncertain as to if there would be a season each week, if you would have matches. How did you kind of take that week by week, day by day, as to what was going to happen?
Well, we just worked as hard as we could up in the practice room because we didn't know what day was going to be our last day. So we just took that really hard.
State wrestling tournament right around the corner, but what were some goals this season that you've set so far, and do you feel that you've met those goals?
Well, I just wanted to make varsity, of course, and made that goal. And for the state tournament, I want to try to make the semis. I think that'd be a good goal for myself.
Personal information about yourself. Who are your parents? How long have you been wrestling? And what are your favorite parts of it all?
All right. My parents' names are Mackenzie and Austin Ranke. I've been wrestling since I was probably about 3 years old. And favorite parts, probably just hanging around with friends and having a good time.
When you were a young Lisbon Broncos wrestler and you saw some of the guys who are your age now and older, up to the senior class, did you just feel that those were the wrestlers that you wanted to be like at some point?
Yeah, I definitely look up to some of the older wrestlers in our room.
Going into, before going into state, what are some memories that you've felt have really stood out for you so far this season?
Probably just losing to South Border and then bouncing back in region duels and getting a big win over them. And so winning big key matches in that duel.
You'll go to the state tournament. You mentioned that you would like to place. You would like to reach the semis. What would it mean for you to meet that goal and to meet your team goals?
It'd mean a lot to me because last year I didn't even make the state tournament, so it'd make me really happy to just place, make semis, just make me overall way happier and not have a bad feeling in my gut till next year.
All right. Well, thanks for being with us. Good luck.
Thank you.
Your vehicle's in despair and you need repairs. Luckily for you, Creekside Repair performs general automotive and light truck repair at 309 12th Avenue West in Lisbon, North Dakota. Give Creekside Repair a call at 701-683-7619. That's 701-683-7619. Open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Make the time for the make of your vehicle. Check out their Facebook page as well and email them at creeksiderepair@hotmail.com. Located in Lisbon, it's Creekside Repair.
The Congregation of Faith Assembly of God in Lisbon, along with Pastor Jeff Williams, welcome you to worship with them each Sunday through Facebook Live or by visiting LisbonAssemblyofGod.org. The mission of Faith Assembly of God is to glorify God, make disciples, encourage believers, and serve everyone. If you are interested in learning more about how you can join this network of people committed to fulfilling the work of God, call 701-683-5756 or visit LisbonAssemblyofGod.org.
This is yourliveevent.com, State Wrestling Week. Carter Walner from the Lisbon Broncos with us. You guys have had a good year. You've had a good individual year, good year as a team. How satisfied are you so far with the year?
Well, not done yet, so happy with us being able to wrestle and everything and getting as far as we've come, but definitely not there yet.
Initially announced the Friday of the Dakota Bowl that the season would be suspended. Probably a clear timetable came in the next few weeks, but what was your initial reaction to that? You wouldn't be practicing, or you didn't even know the next time you'd be wrestling.
To be honest, I just figured it was over. I didn't think we would have it, but luckily we did. Got what we got, so.
Did that give you extra gratitude every time you were able to come out there and not just compete, but be with your teammates?
Yeah, it definitely did.
Some personal information about you. Who are your parents? How long have you been a Bronco wrestler, and what are the reasons that you like wrestling?
So my parents are Casey and Richard Lesina. I've been wrestling since I was really young, elementary, took a break to play basketball until about 7th grade, and then came back out 8th grade year and have been wrestling since. What was the other question?
What do you like the most about wrestling?
Just the bond that we have as a team, just how we all kind of click, and just the bonds we have together, friendships.
Looking at this season, if you had to pick one or two memories, I know there's still a whole state tournament in front of you, but up until this point, one or two memories of this year, what would be the ones that stood out the most?
Probably when we lost to South Border, the way we took it, didn't hang our heads, came back, fought harder, worked harder, and then in region duels when we beat them, after you could just, the amount of work we put in, and it just showed right there.
State wrestling tournament, it's going to be a little bit different this year with individuals going to be held Thursday, Friday. Duels will be held Saturday. You guys will be done with the whole tournament by a Saturday afternoon for the first time in a while. But what are you looking forward to the most by going out to state, and what are your personal and your team expectations?
Probably looking forward most to just being there, the atmosphere, just it's state, it's exciting. You just like it. Hoping for the state championship, both individual and dual, and same personally.
All right, well, congratulations on a good year. Good luck at state.
Thank you.
The Grog Shop and First and Last Chance are the places to go in Lisbon, North Dakota if you're looking for local businesses that support community events and to find a captivating cheeseburger. For the Grog Shop, head to 1210 Main Street. And to feed that need for food, head to First and Last Chance at 1202 Main Street. First and Last Chance even has curbside pickup, drive-through, and takeout. The whole trifecta. The Grog Shop and First and Last Chance, ready to serve you in Lisbon. The Lisbon Bissell Golf Course, open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday from 4 to 9. Lisbon Bissell Golf Course, an exciting 9-hole public golf course situated along the winding Cheyenne River. This challenging golf course, located along the National Scenic Byway, offers tree-lined fairways, numerous water hazards, and new black sand traps for a state-of-the-art golfing experience. Located off Highway 32 North and reachable at 701-683-4510. Call now to book your tee time at the Lisbon Bissell Golf Course.
Mike Nelson joins us here on YourLiveEvent.com. We're previewing the state wrestling tournament with the Lisbon Broncos, which you can hear full audio coverage at YourLiveEvent.com. This season, more success for your team. What's it been like wrestling this year? Have you been having a lot of fun?
Yeah, the team really pushes each other, and it's fun being up there with those guys and challenging yourself every day.
What have been two things this season that you wanted to get better at, and do you feel that you've met that level?
I just wanted to get better wrestling with the good wrestlers, top wrestlers at my weight class. I wanted to make matches closer, score points on them, and I feel like I've done a good job of working my way to get closer matches with them. So,
this senior class has been very battle-tested, very successful over the years. How much do you feel that they have helped you as well, and how much have your teammates helped you as well reach some of those personal goals for the year?
Oh, my team, they really, really helped me. I think everybody on the team helps each other. They really push each other at practice, make sure you're working hard every day. And yeah, these seniors, they've been a really big part of the Bronco wrestling team for the last couple of years, really stepping up and working hard, and they challenge us with conditioning every day. So
now the seniors, they run the conditioning side of practice. What has been some of the things they've done for you guys that maybe have been a little unexpected to help with conditioning?
Just multiple steps of conditioning, different circuits, and just normally you'd have certain singular workouts, but they're combining multiple workouts a day, and they're just really challenging us, making sure we're on top of our game conditionally and mentally.
Some personal information about you. Who are your parents? How long have you been a Broncos wrestler? And a lot of other sports out there. Why is wrestling your top one?
My parents are Scott and Beth Nelson. I've been a Bronco wrestler since Pee-wees. And wrestling is just one of those sports that takes dedication. You need to work hard day in, day out, and it's probably the toughest sport out there. So when you get good at it, when you accomplish something, it really means something to yourself and your family.
What have been, for you personally, two of the memories, good or bad, that have stood out this year?
I think when we lost to Southport early in the year and came back and beat them at regions, I think that was really big for us mentally and just gave us a lot of confidence coming into the state tournament.
State tournament, what are personal goals? What are the team goals? And what are you going to do to meet both of those?
Individually, I just like to go out there, score points on everybody, do my best, wrestle good matches, hopefully come out on top. As a team, obviously, we're going to look to win both individually and dually, so I think we can do that. We're going to make sure we push each other, pick each other up when things get tough, and we're going to battle.
All right, well, thank you for being a guest with us here tonight. Good luck at state.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more here on yourliveevent.com.
The Lisbon Bronco Athletic Boosters is a group of parents, coaches, and community members whose mission is to enrich the Lisbon High School athletic community by providing financial support for Lisbon High School athletic programs and events. If you are interested in getting involved, they invite you to join the Bronco Athletic Booster Group on Facebook to learn more. The Lisbon Athletic Boosters send a good luck wish to all athletes competing today.
Nick Storhog, CPA in Lisbon and Foreman, specializes in taxes for individuals, businesses, and farms. They offer tax planning and preparation, monthly accounting services, financial statements, payroll processing, business consulting, and trust and fiduciary tax preparation. Make an appointment today by visiting storehogcpa.com. Nick Storhog, CPA, is a proud supporter of Lisbon and community athletics and wishes everyone the best throughout the season. On Main Street in Lisbon and Foreman, it's Nick Storhog, CPA.
This is our Lisbon Broncos Wrestling Special on yourliveevent.com. Levi Lesina with us here from the Broncos Wrestling team. It's been a condensed year, a short year for you guys, but again, more success for your program. How much fun have you had wrestling here this year?
It's been great, just getting to learn a bunch of moves from the seniors and stuff, and the new kids coming up. It's just been a blast with everything. It's been short, but it's been really fun in the time we've had together.
What has been a different feel in terms of a condensed schedule that you guys have seen this year? I mean, what's that different feeling been like, and what have you had to do personally to adapt to maybe wrestling a little bit of a different schedule, but also a lot of uncertainty as to what each week was going to bring?
Yeah, the morning practices were pretty hard to get used to right away, but once we did, I started liking them more. And the tournaments, I really started missing those through COVID and stuff. And yeah, that was two of the main things that I had to really get used to this year.
With those morning practices, what did you have to do differently at home to make sure you got up and got here?
Well, I live about 20 miles out of town, so my brother usually just woke me up in the morning and took me to practice.
Personal information about yourself. Who are your parents? How long have you been a Broncos wrestler, and what is your favorite part about wrestling?
My parents are Ron and Carla Svem, and I've been wrestling since about kindergarten, so that's been about 11 years now. And then some of my favorite things about wrestling are just get to be with my brothers, the team. It's probably some of the most fun you'll ever have out there, is wrestling with the team.
Lisbon is a team with a rich wrestling history. What's it like for you so far to be a part of that and know that you still have some years to come?
It's great as I'm getting older with this. I get to become more and transition to a leader, so I'm trying to look up to the seniors right now and seeing what they're putting on so I can hopefully be that good when I'm older and pass my legacy and the Broncos' legacy on to the younger wrestlers.
So far this season, what have been the two memories that stood out the most for you?
Losing to South Border right away and just having that feeling that like we were defeated, but we weren't broken. So when we came back and beat them in regions, that felt really good. And old Broncos are back, never looked over us. So that felt good.
You'll take a trip to the Fargo Dome, individual tournament Thursday, Friday, dual tournament on Saturday. What are you expecting of yourself, and what do you expect of your teammates?
I'm really hoping to place in state myself this year. Last year I was 1 match short of that, and for the team, I really hope we can bring home an individual and a dual title this year.
And what would meeting both of those goals mean to you?
It'd mean a lot. I would see that all my work I put in with the team and all the team's work would not fall short, It would just all pay off.
All right, well, thank you here, and good luck come state.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll be back with more on yourliveevent.com.
Olson Accounting offers services for individuals including financial and retirement planning, taxes, estate planning, and elder care. For business, Olson Accounting can help you with a variety of services including payroll, audit, strategic planning, and taxes. Learn more about these services and more to help you in your business or farm operation by visiting colsoncpa.com or call 701-683-2700. Olson Accounting of Lisbon. Auburn Electric has been serving Lisbon and the surrounding area for 23 years. Expert electrical services include residential, commercial, farm, and aerial. Auburn can solve all your electrical problems, whether that be new construction, remodel, or even light fixture upgrades. Auburn Electric can get the job done. Owner Eric Auburn is a proud supporter of the Lisbon and surrounding communities. Contact Eric today with Auburn Electric for all your electrical needs, 701-683-5892.
I'm just going to start the recording. And then you just want to say your name, grade, and weight class?
Simon Svem, senior, and 145.
All right, and then we'll start the interview here in 3, 2, 1. Simon Svem joining us on yourliveevent.com, another senior from this Broncos wrestling team. Final year, competing as a Lisbon Bronco. What are some of the feelings you're going through right now as you get ready for state?
I'm just super excited that we even had a wrestling season this year, and the team's doing great this year. And I just hope that we all have a good state tournament and stay all healthy before the tournament starts.
As a senior coming into this year, which you mentioned it was something that maybe didn't seem like it could have happened with COVID-19, but what did you know as a senior that you had to do to help elevate the younger wrestlers and your fellow seniors to another level?
I just know that we had to keep the conditioning up, not knowing what tomorrow was going to bring or any day, because with COVID, you never know when they're going to have to shut the team down. So we just kept the spirits high in the wrestling room and just kept working the younger kids hard and telling them that we're going to have a state tournament. And so far, it looks like we're going to. So,
who are your parents? How long have you been a Lisbon Bronco wrestler? And what would you say are the things that you've enjoyed the most about your wrestling career?
My dad's Ron and my mom's Carla, and I've been wrestling since kindergarten, so all the way up through. And I just love the Bronco wrestling program because all the coaches and all my friends, they just push me all the way through. And all through the pandemic now, that really pushed us, and a couple of tough losses in the duels last few years. It just really pushes us hard to work and get better, just not just in wrestling, but as a person, and just work and get better.
When you look at the trophy case of Lisbon wrestling, which is very full for what Lisbon has done over the decades, but you see your name and your picture in some of those plaques and your fellow classmates, what are some of the feelings that you get seeing that?
It's just amazing because I know how hard we work up there every single day, and since 7th grade, the seniors have been pushing us, and now when I'm the senior, I know the responsibility of pushing the team so the younger kids can start pushing the future wrestlers as they come up, and just having that work pay off here in February, it just feels amazing.
What are your plans now that your senior year and your high school career overall are coming to an end?
After wrestling, I just plan to have a good track season and hope COVID lets me go to college and actually go to classes and everything try to get back to a new normal here.
State wrestling tournament, what are you looking forward to one last time, and what are personal and what are team expectations?
I just personally want to get a good place this year, and then team expectations, obviously. I'd like to win another dual title here, and I think we put in the work to do it. There's a lot of good competition here in the state this year, but I think our team has worked hard enough to give her a good run this year.
All right, well, thank you very much. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
There are more than 3.5 million people who work as truck drivers, according to the United States Census Bureau. From the transportation of ag commodities to help feed the world to packages that arrive at our door, and fuel to keep us on the go and warm in our homes. Patriot Fuels is proud to serve these hardworking men and women across North Dakota with clean facilities, great prices, and a friendly staff. Patriot Fuels in Alexander with easy in and out, hot showers, #1 diesel, and fresh food. Milner with hot food options including Cooper's Chicken and Wingman Pizza. Also located in Carrington, Devils Lake, Linton, and Lisbon. Patriot Fuels wishing everyone safe travels.
Feeling a knot in the wrong places? Head to the Cheyenne Valley Chiro Clinic. Open Monday through Thursday from 8 a.m. to noon and then 1 to 5 p.m. If you feel tense, just head to 1511th Avenue West in Lisbon, North Dakota. If you'd like to call and set up an appointment before walking in, just call 701-683-5337. That's 701-683-5337. Open Monday through Thursday until 5 in the afternoon. It's the Cheyenne Valley Chiro Clinic.
You deserve to get good service and great rates. At State Farm, we get it, and we are here to help, because with every State Farm policy, you get good neighbor service, and you get surprisingly great rates. So what are you waiting for? Get going and talk to a local State Farm agent about your surprisingly great rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. When you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Tracy Urbach in Lisbon today. Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
We'll have wrestling coverage coming up on yourliveevent.com. State Wrestling Tournament Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Bowdoin Greenlee will with us here, our next segment here on our show. It's been a good season for you guys so far. You've had a good individual season. How are you enjoying this edition of wrestling?
It's very interesting. I really, really don't like the mass, but other than that, I'd say we're getting a lot more matches than I thought we were gonna. So that's at least good.
When you have a season like this, obviously something that no one's experienced, but you knew that you're going to have a limited number of matches than what you're used to, and even then you weren't sure that those matches were going to happen. But how did you learn to get the most out of those matches in terms of getting better?
Well, I like to score a lot of takedowns, I guess. So I'll make sure I'll try to make my matches like longer so you can get better conditioning in. So, yeah.
And how much more do you feel that this year you've had to rely on the other guys in the wrestling room to help make you better, just in case something had come up as to not wrestle for 2 weeks?
A ton. Partners are huge because, yeah, like you said, you got to make sure you're conditioned and make it like a real match up in the practice room because you don't know how many you're actually going to get.
Some profile stuff about you. Who are your parents? How long have you been a Bronco wrestler? And what are just your favorite parts of wrestling?
My parents are Randall and Jamie Greenlee, and what was the second question?
How long have you been a wrestler, and what are your favorite parts of wrestling?
I've been wrestling since I was in kindergarten, so however long that is, 11 years or whatever. And favorite part of wrestling is definitely like the tenacity that you have to show when you wrestle. Like, I like the fact that you don't have to necessarily be the most athletic guy going into it, but just if you're just really tenacious and you want to win, that can usually be enough.
This season, you guys had a lot of ups. You had a few downs. You had the South Border Duel is one that most of your teammates have mentioned the most as being both beneficial and one of the memories they wish that, they would have had won that one as well. But for you, what are the two memories, good or bad, this year that have stuck out the most so far?
Yeah, definitely the South Border Duel. The first time we wrestled South Border, it was, here, and we lost. I was just completely shocked. If you looked at my face when that happened, it was just terrible. And then going back and beating them in the region tournament, that was a great feeling.
Going on to state, you've had success at state before, individually and with your team. What are your expectations going into Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for yourself? For your teammates, and what would it be like to meet those expectations?
Well, yeah, I definitely have aspirations to win a state title, both individually and team-wise. Just want to have fun, score a lot of points, and yeah, it should be fun.
All right, well, thank you for being with us here. Good luck.
Thank you.
the innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 43,000 participants here in North Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
You can listen to Lisbon Broncos Wrestling on yourliveevent.com. We'll begin with the individual and the dual tournament coming up here on yourliveevent.com. Jaden Schmidt with us here on our special wrestling program here on Your Live Event. Senior season, can you believe you're already at this point in your life?
No, I mean, just yesterday I was an 8th grader getting to wrestle in the dual state finals. That was pretty special for me, and it just seems like a couple years later and it's already my senior year. So.
And you know, we've talked about a lot with your teammates. Is just this year has just been obviously a lot of uncertainty, and there was a chance that your senior year may not have happened. I mean, what did that do for you in terms of motivation, and how eye-opening was it?
I mean, there wasn't really much I could do about it. I mean, I just had to go out and I had to work as hard as I could at home, at the gym, and do what I could and hope for the best, I guess.
Some personal information about you. Who are your parents? How long have you been a Lisbon Bronco wrestler? And what are your favorite parts about being a wrestler?
My parents are Michelle and Scott Schmidt. I've been wrestling since I was about 5 years old, but I've been on the team since I've been in high school, on the high school team since 7th grade. And my favorite parts about being on the team, I guess, are just feeling like a family, like everyday practice and tournaments every week in and out.
Your coaches really love putting a lot of work on the seniors in terms of leadership, controlling that wrestling room. You watched seniors before you in that position. When you got that chance to kind of be at the helm a little bit more, what did you think was important for you to do as a senior?
Really just pick up those younger guys and just give them a chance to realize what Bronco wrestling is and be there for those younger guys.
If there was one or two things so far this season that you would say are the top memories of your last year as a Lisbon wrestler, what would that be?
I'd say beating South Boulder and losing to South Boulder. I think they're both really shaping for us this year. I mean, it was super humbling losing to them and then going out there and working harder every day in practice just to go back and beat them in regions and hopefully go back and beat them at state again.
There's a state tournament now coming up. What are personal expectations? What are team expectations? And what is that going to mean if you meet both of those going out as a Lisbon Bronco wrestler for the one last time?
For me, the biggest goal has always been end up on top, first place, obviously. And as a team, we expect nothing less than first place as well. And we've worked way too hard to get anything less.
All right. Well, thanks for being with us. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
The unknown consumes so much of our lives. That's why Concordia College in Moorhead, Minnesota is committed to providing clarity. We recognize that comparing colleges, especially the price, can be confusing. Concordia has always been a place where students of all economic backgrounds find success. And for next fall, we are reducing tuition by more than $15,000 so that any student who can imagine themselves at Concordia can be a Cobber. Now's the time to take a look at Concordia College, Moorhead, Minnesota. ConcordiaNow.com.
Wallach Johnson Insurance has a team of experienced professionals who are highly knowledgeable and ready to answer your questions about finding the best insurance coverage for you. As an independent insurance agency, they have access to many highly rated insurance companies and can shop around to find you an affordable solution for farm, crop, business, home, and auto insurance. Get your free quote started today with Wallach Johnson Insurance at nd-insure.com. Call or text 888-683-5253 or stop by one of their offices in Lisbon, Rutland, and Gwinner. Wallach Johnson Insurance, insuring the area since 1981.
Still continuing on with our program, talking about state wrestling here at yourliveevent.com. Lisbon Broncos looking to win another team and another dual championship. Jordan Sowers with us. A lot of expectations coming into state wrestling. You've had yourself a good year. How much you've enjoyed your last year being a Bronco?
It's awesome. I'm just trying to take in every last minute of it and keep working hard in the room.
You've had success on the mat. You guys had a great football season in the fall. You hit some obstacles in football. You missed a month of the season, a cold month of the season. You still went on to a state championship. This year has just been all over the place. Do you feel that you just kind of learned a lot, and you've learned to fight through the adversity from that?
Yeah, absolutely. Even through the games we won, we had to face adversity, and it just transitions into wrestling. And if you get taken down, you just gotta keep battling back. If you get down, keep battling back. And same in the wrestling room. If you get tired and want to quit, you just keep battling.
A little bit personal information. Tell us who your parents are, how long you've been a Lisbon wrestler, and what are the plans once high school is done?
My parents are Dave and Carrie Sowers, and I've been wrestling since I was 3 with Avery. I don't know, I've always been doing it and fell in love with it when I was a kid and just love the physicality of it. And my plan after high school is to go to Bismarck State for a lineman.
This season, what have been some of your biggest memories? If you had to pick one or two, what are two things that you really, so far this year, obviously you want more going into state, but what have been the two big ones that have stood out?
The biggest one is the day after state, or the night of after the state final football game. We found out that we wouldn't start the season that Monday like we planned on it. So that's just the way we fought back, and we're a family. Of the wrestling team still was a family, and battled back to that. And then just seeing everybody in the room, like they hit their wall, they meet their wall, and almost break themselves every day in their practice room, and come back the next day and do it again.
As a leader on this team, South Border, that duel you had here at home, obviously no one was happy with that result, coming down to the last weight class and not getting that win. What was your message as a senior on this team to everyone else around you to learn from that?
To not overlook anybody and just keep your nose on the grindstone pretty much and keep working.
State wrestling coming up, a chance again to win 2 championships. For the team and for the duel, what are your expectations of yourself, and what is the expectation of the team, and what would it mean to end your career meeting those expectations?
I mean, I've been lucky to grow up in the town of Lisbon, North Dakota, and just it's like a wrestling town kind of, and just grew up with the mentality of a Lisbon Bronco. And every year everybody's goal is to be on top and end the season, and we've worked hard enough, and now we just have to take what's ours.
All right, well, thank you and good luck.
Thank you.
If you have never been in an abusive environment, you may wonder why a person wouldn't simply just leave the relationship. Oftentimes, these situations are more complicated than it may seem. If someone you care about is in a similar situation, support them and understand they may have reasons to stay. The Abuse Resource Network of Ransom and Sargent County can help you support your loved one and offer services to those in harmful relationships. Counseling, housing, or financial assistance, or even just a confidential ear are some of the many free services the Abuse Resource Network provides. Reach out today by visiting abuseresourcenetwork.org.
Your wedding day will be one of the most important days of your life, and it takes a lot of planning to make it a special event. Brides by Julie cares about those details as much as you do. An experienced professional will help you plan everything needed, from jewelry, shapewear, rehearsal outfits, bridesmaids, even mom, dad, and the groom, plus flower girls, suit and tux purchases or rental, right down to honeymoon lingerie. Brides by Julie is here to help you every step of the way. Learn more by visiting bridesbyjulie.com.
Avery Dick with us here on yourliveevent.com. We're getting ready for the state wrestling tournament coming up Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. You can hear it right here on yourliveevent.com. Good season for you guys again this year. What have been some things that you've been really satisfied with this year?
Really, you don't really see it a lot, but our work in the wrestling room, we put in a lot more work than most teams would in the year. We work so hard, and it shows on the mat when we're wrestling.
How much do you guys get motivated from each other, and how much you get motivated from just the tradition of Lisbon wrestling?
Well, it kind of, these past years raised our expectancy, so we just kind of raise the bar each year, and every year we work harder, and it just comes, I don't know, we kind of, I don't even know what to say. What was the question even?
How much are you motivated by the expectations of this program, and how much as a team are you guys pushing each other?
We push each other to the limits, really. If someone's having a bad day, or if someone wrestles a bad match, we're all going to bounce back for each other and score points. If one match didn't go our way, we're going to come back and fight for each other so we end up on top.
Tell us a little bit about yourself personally, your grade, your parents, how long you've been part of this wrestling program, and just why you love being a wrestler.
I'm a senior. My parents are Jason and Marnie. I've been wrestling since I was 3 or 4, around there, and I don't know, I just kind of fell in love with the sport ever since I was little. Like, I don't know, I just had me and him. I've been wrestling with each other since we were kids. Before we even hit the mats, we were wrestling at each other's houses, and we just, I don't know, kind of bounced off each other. And I went up to Fargo for a couple years. I still wrestled in Lisbon every now and then, but I went up to Fargo to a different club and wrestled, and they kind of pushed me really hard and kind of made me fall in love with wrestling.
What's the plan after high school?
I'm gonna go to lineman school at Bismarck State with Jordan and Parker. He's on the basketball team.
What are you looking forward to going into the Fargo Dome again for another wrestling tournament? And what are your expectations for yourself, and what are your expectations for the team?
I look forward to just, I don't know, kind of sitting around talking with the team for the final couple days, just relaxing. Personally, my goal, I want to end up on top of the podium. It's been a goal since I was a little kid, so I want to accomplish that. For the team, same thing. We work hard, so we deserve to be on top of individuals and dual team championship.
And what would that mean to you to end your Lisbon career with those 2 goals accomplished?
That'd be amazing. I don't know. It's just showing all the work that we put in, just to show that finally it all came into one. Well, we didn't just do it for no reason.
All right. Well, thank you very much for being with us. Your good luck at state.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll be back.
Your vehicle's in despair and you need repairs. Luckily for you, Creekside Repair performs general automotive and light truck repair at 309 12th Avenue West in Lisbon, North Dakota. Give Creekside Repair a call at 701-683-7619. That's 701-683-7619. Open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Make the time for the make of your vehicle. Check out their Facebook page as well and email them at creeksiderepair@hotmail.com. Located in Lisbon, it's Creekside Repair.
The Congregation of Faith Assembly of God in Lisbon, along with Pastor Jeff Williams, welcome you to worship with them each Sunday through Facebook Live or by visiting LisbonAssemblyofGod.org. The mission of Faith Assembly of God is to glorify God, make disciples, encourage believers, and serve everyone. If you are interested in learning more about how you can join this network of people committed to fulfilling the work of God, call 701-683-5756 or visit LisbonAssemblyofGod.org.
I'm going to start the recording and just say your name, grade, and weight class.
All right. I'm Granger Dick. I wrestle 220 and I'm a senior.
All right, and then we'll start the interview here in 3, 2, 1. Join us now on yourliveevent.com is Senior Granger Dick from the Lisbon Broncos wrestling team. Again, we're getting ready for the state tournament. We'll have coverage on yourliveevent.com. Good season for you guys again this year. How excited are you to go back to the state wrestling tournament?
I'm excited, but it just sucks that it's going to be our last one for us seniors, but super excited, obviously.
From being a wrestler at a young age to getting on to your senior year, I mean, do you feel this time went fast?
Oh, yeah, super quick. People always tell you it goes by fast, but you never really understand. It's like a blink of an eye.
Some adversity coming into your senior season with COVID-19, with condensed schedule, with so much uncertainty. How did you react to that? How did you use that maybe to motivate you for this senior year?
Obviously, it was scary at first, but when it's something like this, it motivated. It's just you have to practice and wrestle every day like it could be your last day, because it could have been, and it still could be. So,
talk about a little personal information. Who are your parents? How long have you been a Lisbon Bronco wrestler? And what do you enjoy most about wrestling?
My parents are Brent and Brenda Dick. I've been a Lisbon Bronco since 5th grade, so a long time now. My favorite thing about wrestling, I like being up with my brothers. Wrestling is such a tough, grindy thing, and you just get so close with the people that you're with. It's really something special.
I know both coaches have really relied on your senior class and every senior class to be leaders in that wrestling room. What are things that you like to do in that leadership position to get the young guys going, but also push your fellow seniors?
Just be there for everyone, like push everyone as hard as you can. Like us seniors, we take care of the conditioning, so we're looking out for everyone, making sure that everyone's just doing what they can and making sure everyone's doing it to the best of their ability.
If you had to pick one or two memories of your senior season as a Lisbon Bronco, what would those be?
Winning the region tournament a couple weeks ago was pretty memorable, and I'd say that's pretty much it. My season got cut short a little bit. I was quarantined for like 30 days, so I haven't really got to do that much, but that was definitely memorable and something I'll remember for forever.
Yeah, if you look back at your career, it's been all region championships for you guys coming into that region, and to beat South Border, I think after having lost at home, I'm sure was an extra feather in the cap for you and your teammates.
Yeah, for sure. Especially when I wasn't wrestling up varsity yet, so I just had to sit back and watch it happen. So it was nice to be able to get out there and wrestle and help out.
State wrestling tournament coming up. What are your personal expectations? What are the team expectations? And what's it going to feel like to end your career, hopefully meeting those?
I'm hoping to finally pick up a state place winning. And for the team, obviously, we want to go out as champs in dual and individual. So.
And what does it feel like to have a hand in some of those, this run of championships? The Lisbon wrestling history is so extensive, but to have your hand in the last few parts of it, I mean, and what does that feel like?
I don't know, it's surreal almost. Like when you're little, everyone wants to be those state champs, those teams that are just winning, and for us to be able to actually get up and do it, it's amazing.
All right, well, thank you very much for joining us here. You're watching YourLiveEvent.com.
The Grog Shop and First and Last Chance are the places to go in Lisbon, North Dakota if you're looking for local businesses that support community events and to find a captivating cheeseburger. For the Grog Shop, head to 1210 Main Street. And to feed that need for food, head to First and Last Chance at 1202 Main Street. First and Last Chance even has curbside pickup, drive-thru, and takeout. The whole trifecta. The Grog Shop and First and Last Chance, ready to serve you in Lisbon. The Lisbon Bissell Golf Course, open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday from 4 to 9. Lisbon Bissell Golf Course, an exciting 9-hole public golf course situated along the winding Cheyenne River. This challenging golf course, located along the National Scenic Byway, offers tree-lined fairways, numerous water hazards, and new black sand traps for a state-of-the-art golfing experience. Located off Highway 32 North and reachable at 701-683-4510. Call now to book your tee time at the Lisbon Bissell Golf Course.
And this is YourLiveEvent.com. Our Lisbon Broncos wrestling special continues on. Josh Scheer, the heavyweight, with us here. You've had some really close matches, one going back to Central Cass in that tournament, some nail-biters, but it's been enjoyable for you this year.
Yeah, definitely, especially from going from back up last year to having such a good start. Yeah, it's been a fun year.
Thinking about those matches that you had to go into some extra periods in, I mean, how much fun do you have in matches like that? Obviously, it's not a lot of room for error, and it can go the other way, but you've come out on top in those.
Yeah, it's fun to just kind of see how other heavyweights and people go in longer matches. I like testing people's stamina at the end of matches.
And when it comes to high school wrestling, the heavyweight class it's so different. Every team, especially at Class B, you're maybe carrying one or two. You're lucky if you get three. When it comes to preparing with your teammates, what are some things that you guys maybe have to do a little different?
So some things we have to do a little different. Me and my partner, his name's Grant, we'll just talk about how the different heavyweights wrestle, and me or him will wrestle to their style against each other.
Heavyweight wrestling maybe a little bit more
upper body.
Yeah, and you're waiting on your opponent to maybe open things up for you.
It's a chess game.
And so how do you handle that mental side of it?
Basically, first period, it's just kind of, I call it the feeling out phase. And then from there on, I just try and be a bull and ride on top.
Some personal stuff about you. Who are your parents? How long have you been a part of this wrestling program? And what are some of your favorite things about being a wrestler?
So my parents were originally Paul Scheer and Trina Scheer. My dad passed away a couple years ago, so when they were divorced. So now my parents are Trina Rademacher and Dennis Rademacher. I've been a part of the team since kindergarten, and probably my best memory is just seeing my brother get to state. Watching him get there was awesome.
This season, we mentioned that you've had some close, exciting matches against the heavyweight from Oaks is one that stands out to me from when I've seen you wrestle this year. But personally, what are those 1 or 2 memories so far this season that have really stood out for you?
This season, definitely probably the best part is just wrestling in those close matches. It gives me a thrill just to wrestle against these good wrestlers and coming out on the win, best thing in the world.
State wrestling tournament, it's going to be a different feel this year with the way that it's broken up, but what are you looking forward to the most? What are the personal expectations and the team expectations?
Definitely looking forward just to the food out at Fargo. At being a big guy, I definitely just want food out there. Individual, I mean, I'm going in as a 2 or 3 seed. We're not totally 100% sure, but I'm putting a goal on myself to get to the finals. From there, it's a 50-50. Then individuals, we've sweat and cried so many times through this season. I see nothing better than first.
And what will it mean to you to meet both your individual and your team expectation?
Well, if I am able to win state in individual, that'll be the first time in my bloodline that I've ever won championship. If you recall, their names are Jesse and Jordan. No one in my family has ever been able to come up close to them, so it'd be nice to kind of be at the podium with them.
All right, well, good luck here coming up at state, and congratulations on your season so far.
Thank you.
The Lisbon Bronco Athletic Boosters is a group of parents, coaches, and community members whose mission is to enrich the Lisbon High School athletic community by providing financial support for Lisbon High School athletic programs and events. If you are interested in getting involved, they invite you to join the Bronco Athletic Booster Group on Facebook to learn more. The Lisbon Athletic Boosters send a good luck wish to all athletes competing today.